Welcome back to another week of Cobbler's Corner. Tonight I got Mike Napier that is going to join me for a short interview. Mike is the owner of Delaware Cornhole, is one of the owners of Delaware Cornhole. So we're going to get into a little bit about him, how he got involved, and kind of like the state of the union for the club. But before we begin, I got to shout out my awesome sponsors, because without them, I don't know if I would be attempting to do as much as I am. We have Chris Rapicelli with Crown Home Real Estate and First State Properties. If you're looking to buy or sell in Delaware, Maryland, or Pennsylvania, get a hold of Chris. He'll hook you up. I also want to thank the Big Ass Cornhole Podcast. They are an incredible podcast that make my drives to executive much, much easier to deal with. So again, check them out. You can find them on Facebook, and that will take you to their links to their shows. I also want to thank Brotherhood Cornhole, some of the best bags in the business. I personally throw the Guardian XH, and it is the best bag that I have found. This is my dream bag. If I could only pick one bag, this would be it. All right. Well, without further ado, let's get into the interview with Mike. So, Mike, if you wouldn't mind telling us, what do you do outside of cornhole, and how did you get connected to Delaware Cornhole?
So, I do a lot of everything, as you guys see from my Facebook post. Of course, hunting and fishing have been my life since I've been 4 years old. I don't get to hunt as much as I used to because of cornhole and our busy season being in the wintertime. I play a lot of poker when I can. That also has taken a back seat to cornhole, but I'll still play when I can. My real job, since, I don't want people thinking I'd make all this crazy money off of cornhole, is I've managed the state of Delaware radio system for the last 20 years, which is a $200 million public safety radio system. That's what I do on a daily basis while still juggling all of this stuff. And then how I got into cornhole, much like everyone else, was a backyard champion. We used to have 60 to 80 people at my house every summer for a big cornhole tournament. Me and my partner, Jerry, who many of you don't even know anymore, dominated so much that we had to start doing blind draws. This is before we even knew about cornhole in general. And it kind of took off from there. We finally joined the league, got destroyed, realized we had to get better. Won our second season in competitive, moved up to advanced, won our fourth season in advanced, and I don't think we've ever won since. So, good times.
Yeah, actually, that sounds like a very similar path that I had. So, because you are one of the owners, can you give us a state of the union for Delaware Cornhole?
So, if you've been to any of our events, you know that the state of our situation is pretty good. We are still one of the largest organizations in the country. I'd say top 5 at worst, more likely top 3 if you throw out, TCL. We want to start including more and more of the area clubs as we move forward to try to have a very cohesive situation going on, especially with all these stats and different awards and free rolls and you name it. It'll take the work of everyone, of course, but it's something I think we can see moving forward. We try to be the leader. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but we will always do our best to be the leader of cornhole when we can.
So it sounds like there's some big things coming up.
Oh yeah, definitely. Not going to really get into them right now, but
that's fine.
I have some visions that I really want to see take place. So we'll see.
All right. Well, since most people know about Delaware Cornhole because of Paradise Grill, how did that get started? And how does Al just keep finding money to continue to throw at it? Because it is insane.
So Paradise Grill was one of our favorite places to go way before cornhole. We would find ourselves there every Friday and Saturday night having a good time, drinking orange crushes because it is like the best atmosphere. We watched it from the beginning, from Shack to what it is now with big concerts, the world's largest flounder pounder, all of that good stuff. Um, they wanted to have a tournament similar to Secrets down in Ocean City. Apparently, they had a cornhole tournament every year. I didn't know anything about it. He called me up and said, "How can we make this happen?" I did some tweaks to what the original vision was, and it's turned into what it is. Now, keep in mind, Al is a rock star. He has sponsors upon sponsors, and when you run the world's largest flounder tournament, there's a lot of money in fishing, a lot of money in boats, a lot of money in sponsorships for that. Our cornhole tournament kind of is dwarfed by that. But he has made so many solid connections, and he just, at the snap of his fingers, makes this thing what it is. And it is 100% their atmosphere and their position that makes that tournament what it is.
No, that is always a very exciting tournament, and I cannot wait to see what is going to be up for this year.
We're going to be pushing. Not to spoil it too much, we're going to see $50,000 prize pool here soon.
Wow, that makes this real exciting because one of the things that I plan on doing is interviewing the pros that plan on flying in for Paradise, and at that kind of a payout, we're going to see some pros fly in for that.
Yeah.
So that is extremely exciting. So since you've started with Delaware Cornhole, what has been the favorite league that we run and why?
So Minquist is the OG of the OG leagues. And when I say that, before my time even started, they started out at DAP, running basically blind draws, little leagues. In 2015, they moved to Minquist, so almost 10 years ago now. And, there's something about Minquist. I know a lot of people don't like it there. I know it's small, it's tight, it's whatever. But keep in mind, that league is the absolute format that everyone in the area has copied, has tried to be. That format is our format that we worked with Scorholio on to make work. And that league, you can say what you want about it, sells out season after season. I mean, right now we got 10 teams on the waiting list. I have 64 teams registered, and I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. So it's just an old school feel. The venue's awesome. I say all the time the downfall of cornhole is going to be venues, but Minquist takes care of us, and they deserve to have as many people there as we can get in there. So by far my favorite league to run.
So we just had our Switchmas, and
yeah, still recovering.
Our Switchmas is our Christmas party. We had over 200 throwers there. I gave out some awards. We had the King/Queen of Delaware Cornhole tournament going on. After my awards went out, is there anyone else that you felt has really stood out or needed some recognition?
So I'm not good at singling people out because we have so many people, right? So many people, different skill levels, play different amounts of the week, different times a week, whatever. But, first and foremost, Sissy is our greatest ambassador of all. She's a great player. I pick on the good players sometimes because they're a pain in the ass. But Sissy is a pleasure, no matter who her partner is, no matter what the format is, no matter what is going on. She is the best. She's helping new people. She's doing it all. But then you got like the players that I appreciate as the guy who has to run the league. Your Brian Twos, your Roger Titters, Debbie Smith and Blaine Smith. They show up, they say hello, how are you doing? They play their games and they go home. They don't cry, they don't complain. They just
Guarantee.
take what's exactly. They just take what's there, and they're never a problem. They're never in my inbox. They're never like they're just nice people. I mean, there's millions of others. Trust me, there are millions of others, but they just stick in my mind the most.
Yeah, no, I try and give as much recognition as I possibly can. I know that I handed out some recognition, but
Yep,
there is so many incredible people that we have in our
for
community.
sure,
It is hard to make sure that everyone is getting recognition. So that's why I want to.
100%. And I'm not good at it because I don't like to ever play favorites or try to show favoritism towards anyone. That's why what you're doing is beneficial to me because I'm not going to be good at doing that or picking people out. Um, but it is nice to recognize some people. So
All right, so what makes you so passionate about this sport, and why do you continue to spend so much time trying to make this better?
sometimes I don't know. That's a good question because right now, obviously, in the beginning and over several years, it's because I enjoy competition. I love competition. I was an athlete my whole life. I love it. Right now, I suck, and it's an unexplainable suck. It's not just throwing bad. It's completely checked out. So that hurts my desire from time to time,
Yeah.
but it actually makes me more dedicated to running great events. So if that makes sense, I'm not worried about if I throw good. It used to really make me mad if I didn't throw good, and it's probably part of why I'm not throwing good because I don't care at the moment. I know it'll come back. It's come back before. Um, but just the community and that word gets overused a lot because the community is a lot of different things today versus 5 or 6 years ago. But just like we were talking about in the last segment, I mean, there are so many good people, and it's you always have a good time. Like Switch Miss, there's people I haven't seen in a while. There's people that play in different leagues. It's just a great community, and quite honestly, I was here for the beginning of the growth. I've watched it grow to what it is, and I'm the kind of person that just has to see it through, whatever that is, whatever the end game of this is. I will make sure I'm there
Yeah, no, I greatly appreciate it because I am along for this ride.
for sure.
All right, I only have a couple more questions, but we have an ACL problem in Delaware uh, because we run incredible events that have tons and tons of people, but as the ACL events come, they are much, much smaller than our normal events. Let's say you had the power to do this. How could you fix that?
So the problem is, and some people won't like this answer, the ACL has no problem. There's no problem with the ACL. The ACL is why you see the numbers that you see today. The ACL was the only live sporting event on TV during COVID. The ACL is responsible for growing the game the way it is. However, the perception of the ACL is what the problem is. Now, I don't know, and I'm a pretty smart guy when it comes to this stuff. I don't know how to fix that. The problem is that if I run an event with 424 people at Dover Downs and I advertise it on Scoreholio, 424 people will show up. If I run that same event where everybody tells me how great it is, how fun it was, blah 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 blah, if I advertise it on ACL software, no one will show up. Not no one, but not 424 people.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense. Like it literally makes zero sense. Like I can sit here, yeah, the software sucked 5 years ago, but that was 5 years ago. The software is fine. I've run regional after regional, event after event.
Yeah.
If anything, sorry Ben, the interface of the scoring is actually better on the ACL as far as the actual tablet scoring. Um, if the ACL woke up tomorrow and said, we're going to let you use Scoreholio, then the problem's solved for whatever reason, because I could call it whatever I want to call it.
Right.
State championship, bags on bags, Delaware's fun day, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
So if you had to nail me down and say what would fix it right now, if they said tomorrow you can use Scoreholio, that would fix it. At least in our case. I can't speak for the rest of the country, but I mean, we were number one every year for the first 3 years I was involved in this. So,
Yeah, no, I think that you are absolutely correct about it being a Scorholio issue, and that is just how we're spoiled around here. All right. As we just had our state championship or our year-end championship, let's say that you made it into the finals, and I'm getting ready to announce your name to the entire club. What's the song that you want to play as you come on the board?
So, as people that cry about my playlist know, I have a very wide variety of music that I like, whether it's rock, classic rock, rap. Only classic rap though. I don't like new stuff. Country, you name it, I like it. So it would be a toss between Iron Man by Black Sabbath, because the Road Warriors back in the day, when they would come after that song in wrestling, it was just awesome. Or Let's Go by Trick Daddy. Probably Let's Go by Trick Daddy, because I'd be fired up and have like 10 fireball shots at me. That would be the best way to go.
All right. Very much for your time.
Of course.
And again, Mike runs some of the smoothest events in our area. If you haven't been to a Delaware Cornhole event, please make your way to one of ours. You will find out how efficient this guy really is. So, thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy.
And,
I'll talk.
Tune in next week. Bye.